So about last year, I wrote a book, kind of illustrated book on my learnings in theosophy. And this book has very simple questions asked by children or youngsters about some important themes in theosophy. So the subtitle of the book is um, Ancient Wisdom Teachings That Will Make You Think. And the title of the book is A Few Questions. So it has different kind of two-page stories, all illustrated, like group karma, or why you should not, or the thought atmosphere, or the karma bag. So I'll read out a few stories to you while I scroll down the whole book. If you're interested in this whole book, just write down your email address to me in the chat box, and I will share the whole story to you. So let us do read one story which I kind of liked, and I will try and uh, tell that story. This one, why you should not. Suicide may seem as an escape from pain, but as per the ancient wisdom teaching, suicide only prolongs the pain in another realm. This story actually really happened to me when my daughter was just doing the exact same thing this child in the story is doing. So there is a newspaper in which a celebrity chef has committed suicide. Now there's a child crying, and a mother asks, "Why are you crying, little child?" So then the child says, "Mom, Anton committed suicide. He was so amazing." So the mother says, "That was terrible of him to do that when he has so many young followers like you." "Oh, mom, you're so cruel. Go away," says the child. "Because, dear, even his sorrow won't end after his death." "Whatever do you mean, mom? Leave me alone." "No, dear," says the mom, "because every man comes with a predestined time of death. For example, I was born in 1970. Hopefully, will live until I'm 80. So 2050, I hope to live. And so, similarly, this mother says, if he dies before that time by suicide, he continues in his astral body in a terrible state. So the girl says, "Oh no, not more philosophy." And that's not all. He remains miserable, sick, and in pain, just as his final moments on earth for a long time. "What rubbish, mom! How can anyone stay in the same state forever?" Then the mom says, "Not forever, only up to the time he was really supposed to die. A few years or many years. A few years or many years." "So what are you saying, mom?" So the mom says, "Darling, that suicide does not solve any problem, only increases it and prolongs it. But a patient of depression can't help himself," says the girl. "He is helpless." The mom says, "Absolutely right. We must do our best to help a patient of depression heal himself, and also tell them what happens after suicide to deter them. But now, for now, let us pray for Anthony so his suffering is less." "Thanks, Ma. That'll make me feel better." And then they pray together, Asatoma Sadgamaya. That is the that is one story. Why you should not. So not all the stories are so badly sketched. I have some better stories also, which are better sketched rather. And this one is titled Thought Atmosphere. I'm not reading that out to you. You can get ideas about. I have already talked about such things, and also like, is there a God? Simple questions and answers that people talk about. I want to read out one more topic. Mom, what this is called the karma bag. Again a small girl. Some of the drawings are pretty bad, but along the way you'll find the drawings get better. "Mom, what do you read all the time?" says this little girl. The mother says, "The meaning of life, dear." "So what is it?" "It's hard to explain." "Try, mom, try." "But life throws you down a hill," says mom. "But everything happened as a cause. When it throws you down the hill, we say, 'I don't deserve it.' When it lifts you up on a podium, we say, 'We deserve it.' But everything has a cause, so that cause is karma. It's an action and reaction. When you are born, you carry some old karma and you make new ones too. So, this is a karma bag which has good and bad karma in it. It affects our lives at different times. Sometimes when we are young and sometimes when we are old. If this is our whole life, the first year, maybe we got good karma, 5 years. But by the time we reach 20, maybe something bad happened to us. By the time we reach 30, maybe something good happened to us. We keep adding or balancing our karma birth after birth. So every birth we take different types of births. Sometimes we are men, sometimes women, sometimes poor, sometimes rich. And we keep changing the contents of this bag of karma. So, mom, how can I always be happy? Says the girl. So the mom says, follow what the Buddha did, cease to do evil and do good. Also, purify yourself is also what the Buddha said. Then you'll have a bag of happy karma only. So this was the karma bag. The next one is titled The Karma Bubble. This is a little better illustrated. This is a man and a woman walking out of a temple, and man is saying, "Oh, you're giving these laddus to these poor beggars. They're all just lazy people. But I guess you are creating good karma," he says. So the wife says, "No, no, don't think, even think such harsh thoughts," she tells him. So then the husband says, "Why? What's wrong in that? I didn't harm anyone." So the wife says, "You harmed yourself." An unkind thought has a more powerful negative effect than an unkind act of the same type. Why? So the wife says, karma acts as the force that was generated on the plane of the original action. A good act of charity has a good karma, say a force of 1. Then a bad thought of disgust, as you just felt, has a force of 25. So my thoughts create more karma than my action? Yes, says the wife. But it's impossible to think positively all the time. So the wife says, yes, but we must realize that our lives are our own creation, the karmic effect of our own thoughts, feelings, and actions. If we know the proportion of karmic effects on each plane of our being, we'll be more careful. We create our own karma bubble, which is the title of the story. And here I'm showing a chart which is there in the first principles of theosophy written by C. Jinatachadasa, a well-known theosophist, in which he says that if we create a karma of in the physical plane, it has a, let us say, a force of 1. In the astral plane, the karma created of feelings, in, whether it is sympathy or of resentment, has a force of 5. And in the lower mental level, if we have a feeling of appreciation or of criticism, it has a force of 25. So appreciation will be 25 plus on the good side, and criticism would be 25 minus. That is the force you are giving out. If you are thinking in appreciation or thinking critically. At the higher mental level, which is the abstract level, which is of a plane of aspiration, of ideals, the force is of 125. In that higher level, you can't think negatively. It's only in this lower mental levels and astral level and physical level that we can do negative karma. And all of these have accordingly such forces. So if you have done with your thoughts some negative karma, hated somebody, got angry, said some mean things inside you for somebody, you can also send aspirational thoughts to them, and that will have a much higher force than the force of the negative karma that you created with your thoughts. This is the karma bubble. So this is another simple 2-page story of this whole thing. This one story I really liked, which is the story of uh, on vegetarianism. And I really love this story. I think for me, this is the best story in the book. It's called The Happy Meal. So this is granddaughter and grandmother reminds me of my daughter and my mother-in-law. Oh, grandma, how yummy this temple prasad is. Feels so good to eat. My daughter used to go to a temple nearby and both grandmother and granddaughter used to eat this free prasad which the temple used to give, and these two used to both used to love having that. So the grandmother says, truly, all the positive vibrations of the worshippers who donated the prasad are in this thing that we are eating. That's so in response to what the granddaughter says. So then after they finish their temple visit, they're going in the auto, and the granddaughter says, "Grandma, let's have a happy meal for dinner." So grandmom says, "Sure, but we should have only vegetarian." So the granddaughter says, "Why, grandma?" So then the grandmother says, "Just like the good vibes were stored in the prasad, the negative vibes of the animal are stored in that flesh. Think of all the fear, anxiety the chicken will feel before it's slaughtered. All those feelings, those vibrations of horror are in the meat. Is that possible?" says the grandchild. Then the grandmom says, "Remember when we were in the temple? Didn't we eat the temple prasad and feel the positive vibes of the people who donated it? Same thing happens with meat also." So the granddaughter says, "Okay, mom, let's have some veg burgers and fries." That is the title of the story is A Happy Meal. So let's make a happy meal, not just for me and you, but for also all the animals in the world by not eating them. So there are many such stories. I've tried to cover lots of topics on theosophy, cosmogenesis, and evolution, and the purpose of life, all the sevenfold body, the theories, so many interesting things, addictions and karma. And as you can see, the artwork also slightly gets better along the way. And then there is about our permanent self, which we call the Atma Buddhi Manas. What do we mean by consciousness? So many such things which are interesting. Also, things that always interests people on YouTube, which is what happens after death, and where does the body go? Is there some place the body goes to? So I have one title, Death and After. I have another title, Kamaloka, and then I've titled one titled What Are Dreams, How We Move. Then there's one two-page story about Krishnamurti, how he was discovered, how he came into his own when he did a certain type of meditation under a pepper tree, and then he was visited by some great souls, and then he came into his own. Then we come to the modern times of selfieism, where we are obsessed with our appearance, our face, and our body. So this I have called the curse, which I will just show you a bit about two girls who are obsessed with how we look. And I have tried to show how this kind of an ethos is what brought down entire civilizations, this kind of thinking. Anyway, so I have had many such, and another one is karma and marriage. What are we supposed to gain through marriages? What is the what is the reason that some of us are drawn to marriage, and then what do we gain from such marriages? So all that very interesting short stories, not very well illustrated. Hopefully the stories are nice. I've also discussed about the souls of animals. So everything, I hope that's enough of an introduction to the little book that I have, where I'm freely giving away, because it's not such a great illustration, but I've done what I could. The last one is called Kali Yuga, which is the times that we are living in. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this.